Chapter 9, Velvet and Shadows. The steady rhythm of hooves echoed down the cobblestone road, each strike of the Velebrandt steed's hooves resonating like a quiet drumbeat against the lively hum of the city. The sound was almost hypnotic, a cadence that carried Lucien forward as if he were being drawn deeper into the very heart of this world. He sat upright upon the horse now, posture straighter than before, his wide eyes reflecting a boy's awe, yet carrying the restless fire of a soul far older. The streets of Velebrandt Estate unfurled around him like a painting suddenly alive. Banners of crimson and gold rippled above rooftops, embroidered signs swayed gently over polished shops, and the air itself was thick with voices. The sing-song calls of merchants advertising rare wares, the laughter of children darting through alleys, the bartering of noble ladies demanding fabrics finer than the stars. The city thrummed with life, a melody composed not of instruments, but of people. Lucien drank it all in. His gaze leapt from the flutter of banners to the glint of steel buckles on a merchant's cart, from the swirl of a painted dress to the fragrance of roasted chestnuts carried on the breeze. And then his breath caught. Ah, an airship? He whispered, almost as if afraid the word might shatter the vision. His head tilted upward, and there it was. Suspended in the heavens above, vast and unshaken, floated a ship. No, a leviathan of silver and silk, its body shaped like a whale born of dreams. It hovered with impossible grace, its curved frame glimmering against the golden sun. 4 colossal propellers rotated on its sides, each blade slicing the air with quiet power, shimmering as if kissed by enchantment. From its hull streamed banners marked with a Velebrandt crest, silver and crimson entwined like blood and moonlight. Lucien's chest tightened. For a moment he forgot to breathe. So this world has reached this level, he murmured, voice trembling. He had expected castles of stone and knights in armor, swords that gleamed under torchlight and sorcery whispered in forests. But this was the meeting point of 2 worlds, where steel met steam, where spellcraft bound itself to machines, where fantasy had stepped into something perilously close to steampunk wonder. His heart thundered as though it recognized something long lost. For a flicker of an instant, it felt like home. Almost. Beside him, Knight Rex's baritone voice carried a soft chuckle. You'll get used to it, young master. Lucien tore his eyes away reluctantly. He knew Rex was right, yet part of him never wanted to stop staring. Their path soon curved into a quieter street. The bustling voices dimmed into a more dignified murmur, as though even sound itself had learned to bow in respect here. Storefronts lined the road, each one shimmering with artistry and wealth. Polished doors, jeweled insignias, enchantments woven into window glass so subtle they hummed against Lucien's skin. At last they arrived before an establishment that seemed to draw the very air toward it. The doors were grand, towering arcs of polished wood veined with gold, carved so finely the grains themselves looked alive. Through its crystal-clear windows, Lucien glimpsed mannequins dressed in robes that shimmered with runes, suits stitched with silver thread, cloaks that almost seemed to breathe with magic. Above the entrance, letters embossed in radiant gold spelled words that sang of refinement. Velour and crest, house of nobility garments. 2 armored knights flanked the doors, their silver armor gleaming in the afternoon light. They stood unmoving, but the sharpness in their gaze betrayed discipline drilled by blood and oath. At the sight of Rex's sigil, the crest of the Grand Duke's Knight Corps, they saluted at once, motion crisp as blades. Lucien felt the weight of the place pressing against his chest. First airships, now this. This world was unfolding itself layer by layer, and each new revelation struck him harder than the last. Rex dismounted with practiced ease, boots clinking against stone. He reached up, strong hands steadying Lucien as he lifted him down. Go on inside, Rex said with a rare softness. I'll secure the horse nearby. Lucien nodded, his smile betraying his excitement. Okay, Rex chuckled, his eyes flicking toward the store. This place belongs to your family. The guards here are trained by the Velebrandt Corps themselves. No one would dare touch a hair on your head. With that, he guided the horse down a quieter street. The sound of hooves slowly faded, leaving Lucien standing before the gilded doors, heart racing. The guards opened the entrance with perfect synchronicity. And so, Lucien stepped into another world. The first thing that struck him was the air. Cool, clean, almost unnaturally so. It brushed against his skin like a whisper of spring, untouched by the heat outside. Air conditioning? He thought, stunned. This world really is something else. Velour and Crest was no mere store. It was a palace of fabrics. Marble floors stretched endlessly, polished so brightly they reflected chandeliers above like pools of liquid gold. Those chandeliers weren't ordinary glasswork. No, they pulsed softly, runes etched into every curve, casting warm light that moved with the rhythm of enchantment. Columns rose high, etched with vine-like patterns, and the crown moldings shimmered faintly with sigils that kept the chamber at perfect balance, neither too hot nor too cold. Every breath here carried the weight of luxury. Lucien's gaze wandered. A noble woman twirled before a mirror, her crimson dress lined with gold trim. Her handmaids clapped dutifully, voices filled with polished cheer. "Divine, my lady, simply divine," one clerk cooed. Nearby, a portly nobleman scrutinized himself in a tunic. "Doesn't this make me look younger?" he asked, chin tilted high. "Yes, yes, my lord," his servant agreed flatly, fanning him without pause. "Positively radiant." A salesman leaned to a colleague with a sigh. "We're out of flattery today. Shall we restock?" Lucien almost laughed aloud. The absurdity of it, vanity and opulence wrapped together in silken bow ties. He found himself both amused and fascinated. This world of nobility was every bit as ridiculous as the one he had left behind, only dressed in enchanted fabrics. His wonder was interrupted by the voice of a salesman, sharp yet refined. "Welcome, esteemed sir," the man said with a bow so deep it nearly brushed the floor. His hair gleamed as though carved from obsidian, a monocle catching the light with a flicker of appraisal magic. "May I assist you in your selection today?" Lucien blinked. He was only a child. Yet here, nobility erased age. Blood spoke louder than years. Something nice," Lucien said slowly. "Stylish, but not too flashy. Modest, I guess." The salesman's expression twitched ever so slightly. His eyes darted to Lucien's current attire. Silken robes bearing the Velebrandt crest, garments worth more than entire manors. "Modest," he repeated, as though the word itself were foreign in such a place. Then he bowed smoothly. "But, of course, young master, I know just the thing." Lucien followed him deeper into the boutique. Along the way, he passed cloaks that shifted color with every tilt of light, tunics stitched with tiny runes, and children dressed like miniature barons while mothers clapped in delight. It was a theater of wealth, and every patron was an actor. "So this is power here," Lucien thought. "This is how they show the world who they are." The salesman guided him through velvet curtains into a quieter chamber. The air here was different, softer, subtler. The garments lining the racks did not scream for attention. They whispered. "Here we craft for those who prefer discretion over declaration," the salesman said, voice reverent. "Lightweight fabric, enchantments woven for comfort and endurance, no need for gemstone buttons or gaudy crests. This is luxury for those who do not need to prove it." Lucien's eyes widened. Earthy tones, charcoal, deep green, slate blue, clean cuts, sharp seams, simplicity that radiated confidence. His fingers brushed against one gilet, and the fabric shimmered faintly, almost breathing. The salesman lifted a set. Dark trousers, crisp white shirt, slate gray gilet. "Perhaps this would suit your wish?" Lucien accepted the garments, his palms tingling with the weight of them, and stepped into a curtained chamber. Inside, the mirror waited. Tall, gold-trimmed, merciless in its reflection. He stared at himself for a moment, the boy with mismatched eyes, red and gray, as if fire and steel had been forced to share the same soul. Young, yes. Small, yes. But his gaze carried the weight of another life. He dressed slowly, buttoning the shirt, sliding into trousers, fastening the gilet. The mirror revealed a figure far less regal than before, simpler, sharper, almost ordinary. He smirked faintly. "I look like one of those overworked guild apprentices," he murmured. Yet when he tousled his hair, tucked the shirt casually, and narrowed his eyes, something shifted. The garments clung to him perfectly, understated, but tailored. A boy who looked neither heir nor beggar, noble nor commoner, just someone. Curious, he poked his head out of the curtain. "Hey, could you give me your opinion?" The salesman approached gracefully, monocle glinting. His eyes swept over Lucien, head to toe. "Exquisite," he said softly. "You blend without vanishing. You wear wealth without flaunting. This is a look not many can achieve. My lord, you are unrecognizable." Lucien's chest swelled with a pride he fought to mask. The words were more than flattery. They were truth. He didn't look like the heir of a Grand Duke. He didn't look like a villain in a play. He looked free. A grin tugged at his lips. He turned to the mirror, shoulders relaxing, eyes glittering with mischief. Perfect, he whispered. Now I'm just another face in the crowd.